Because of the war on the Earth was completely destroyed, so some people were sent to the moon, so that they can go there, and make colonies for the rest of the people. When all this work was done, after this, humans left the Earth, and went to the moon to live. But it was not so easy to live on the moon, because there was a meteor storm there. So that's why they had to change all these decisions. After which humans started mining on the moon, so that they could find the easy ways to live on the moon. So many people were kept for mining, who were called miners. This principle was also made that these miners would live with their family on the moon. Now we are shown the children of the miners, who were born in this place, i.e., on the moon. All of them were trying to steal the space rover, i.e., the car that could run on the moon. Then someone came there, from whom everyone was scared and hid. Among them, a child named Caleb had a capsule in his hand. His father was also a miner, who was killed while working. It was decided to send Caleb to Omega after 3 days, where he would be adopted by another family, where life is happy in every way. People live a very enjoyable life. Here we are told that it takes about 75 years to go from the moon to Omega. During this, the traveling human lives in a chamber, cryosleep, which does not increase the age of that person. When he reaches Omega from the moon, he is of the same age. Caleb knew that it would take him 75 years to go to Omega. But Caleb did not want to go from here. He knew that he wouldn't be able to meet his friends again. A lady tells him that the next day, a meteor storm is going to start. After this, you will have to leave for Omega. Caleb was missing his dad a lot. He remembers how he used to go very high, and sit with his dad at the base here. He remembers that his dad had told him that a dangerous thing came across the moon, which made a crater there. You must go to that place once. But no human was allowed to go across the moon. And the capsule we saw in Caleb's hand, a guard gave it to him, which he got from his dad's ashes. Now when Caleb was sitting and thinking all this, 3 of his friends come to him. They were very sad because of his departure. One of them, whose name is Dylan, knew the last wish of Caleb's dad, which was to go to the crater. Dylan says, "Why don't we see that crater before you go? This way your dad's last wish will also be fulfilled." But all this was not so easy. The things they need to go there, they collect those things. Now they needed a code to get out of here. Dylan tells him that there is a girl here, whose name is Addison. Addison had shifted from the Earth to the moon a few days ago. She had no friends. She was the daughter of a scientist. So Dylan says, who knows if she knows about the code. When he goes to talk to Addison, she does not talk to him and goes away from there. Seeing this, Dylan follows her, and tells her everything now. He says, "I wanted to be friends with you from the beginning. What if people think you are strange?" Addison listens to everything and says, "Okay, I am ready to help you people. But in your mission, I will also go with you." Dylan listens to her and gets ready to take her with him. All the children have reached the rover space. They were all stealing it. Caleb pulls the wire of its alarm first, so that its alarm does not go off. Then he puts the code that Addison told them, from which the door was opened. All of them were now ready to go. The responsibility of driving the rover was on Dylan, because he knew the driving from all of them. They all leave from there. They had seen the moon for the first time. Everyone was very happy. But these people had to come back before the meteor storm. Because when the meteor rains, the base was locked down. During the journey, everyone starts talking about themselves. Caleb says that my dad had told me how people were sent to the moon, and then they were mined. But no human being is able to do the work of staying on the moon and mining. Like if that person dies during work, then his son or any of his family members will have to complete that work. The only condition for this is that the age of that person's son should be 18 years. If he is younger than this, then he will be adopted by another family, who must be living on the Omega planet. Those who had sent on the moon, they started living their lives happily by going to Omega. Addison says, so what a mining job was given, which was to be done for only 20 years. Addison was the daughter of a scientist, so she did not know about the real thing. Here, Dylan explains everything to her, that if a mining person dies, then his son has to complete the rest of the years. Hearing this, Addison was a little surprised. Now, they had to walk on the rest of the way. Everyone wears their own spacesuits. Addison's suit was a little different in all of them. Anyway, they came out, where due to the lack of gravitational force, everyone was jumping very high. Everyone starts playing here. When Addison's eyes fall on the planet, she gets a little sad. And starts remembering her past moments on the Earth. When Addison comes back, she sees that Caleb, Dylan, and everyone, with the help of an oxygen gas container, were going up in space. They had tied themselves with a rope with the rover, so that they could not go far in space. Addison sees this and says that it can be dangerous, don't do that, but no one listens to her anything. When a small friend of Caleb starts doing this all. Then due to the shock, his rope broke. Due to this, he went far in space. Seeing all this, Caleb and his other friends try to save him with the oxygen cylinder. Everyone had saved their friend with difficulty. But in all this, a lot of their oxygen ran out. They did not have so much oxygen that they could reach the crater. Everyone was badly stuck. Then Caleb remembers that one of his friends told him that there is an outpost somewhere here. Who knows if he can go there and get oxygen? Hearing this, Caleb's friend says, I will not go there, because my brother told me that ghosts live there. Hearing this, Dylan starts making fun of him. And on the same thing, both start to have a fight. Seeing this, Caleb shouts loudly, and he says that as long as there is time to stay together, do you want to fight and destroy it? Hearing this, the two became friends again. Anyway, they reached that outpost, where it was very dark. There they see the shadows of humans, which everyone was scared of. When they turn on the lights, they find out that they were not humans but puppets. And this was not an outpost but a model of such a house. If humans lived on the moon, they would have lived in such houses. They get some food and oxygen. It was also night, so everyone decided to spend the night. Dylan tells Addison about himself, that my dad left me alone. Addison also tells about herself that my mom and dad got divorced. After that, my mom took my brother, and went to Omega Planet. I feel very lonely. Everyone was asleep. But Caleb and Addison were still awake. Caleb starts talking to Addison. He says, after my mom and dad's death, my friend Dylan supported me. He is my everything. I will go to Omega. Dylan will be left alone. So after I go, always stay with him. Promise me, Addison. She also promised Caleb. In the morning, they start their journey again. But now their rover's battery was over. They also had a shortage of oxygen. So they had to reach the crater before the meteoroid storm. They all got sad, so Addison set up a security alarm. So before the meteor shower, the guards come and save them. Now quickly reach the crater, which was very big. They come to a strange place after coming downstairs, where Addison sees a button on the wall. As soon as she presses it, the whole place changed as if people were on the earth. All this was not real. But still, they like everything. As soon as Caleb puts off a stone and sees. He sees his mom and dad's ashes and their picture under it. Caleb had seen his mom for the first time in that picture. He now understands why his dad wanted him to come here. He was very sad. Dylan tells him that why are you losing this beautiful chance of your life? Here everyone wants to go to Omega, after completing 20 years of mining. And they are very few people. That's why your dad gave up his life. Here he finds out that his dad deliberately took his life, so that Caleb could be sent to Omega. He could live a good life, about which everyone except Caleb knew. Dylan says that don't refuse to take your dad's gift. He has given you this gift by giving his life. Then a friend gets sick during their conversation. They all now try to take him and reach their rover. But then the meteor storm started. Everyone was trying to save themselves. Addison gets separated from them while saving herself. When no one sees her, Caleb and Dylan go to save her. Addison's helmet had a crack, so she fell unconscious. Caleb and Dylan save Addison and bring her back. But in the meantime, Dylan also falls. But Caleb saved him. Everyone comes inside the rover, whose windows were also broken because of the storm. They had a little oxygen, so they could not stay alive. Everyone sits in the same rover, and waits for their death. Everyone understood that now they would not be able to survive. But they were happy that everyone would die together. After that, everyone faints. After this incident, the story is shown a little later. We are shown Caleb, who has reached Omega. This means that the incident was taken place 75 years ago. Caleb was in cryosleep, but he now wakes up. It takes 75 years to reach Omega from the moon. During this, the traveling human lives in a chamber, cryosleep, which does not increase a person's age. When he reaches Omega from the moon, he is about the same age. He wanted to know about his friends. Then a nurse comes and gives him an audio device, in which the messages of his friends were recorded. He finds out that all of them were saved that day. His friends have spent more than half their lives. Like a friend started his baseball team, and the other friend became an administrator. So according to the promise, Addison had married Dylan, knowing about the lives of his friends. To hear the voices of his growing age, Caleb is happy. But even now he was sad that he could not spend his life with his friends. A family had adopted Caleb on the Omega planet. He gets into this environment. He also finds Addison's brother here, about Addison told him, who lives with her mother on Omega. Caleb tells Addison's brother about his sister's good deeds, who worked against the rules like mining on the moon also made them all